Welcome to Ask a Yogi. My name is Nayaswami Hriman, and I had two questions actually on the subject of diet. Let me look now to see. Somebody from Sweden wrote to me and had a question that's been bothering her for a long time. She used to be vegan, but developed anorexia. Now, I'm not all that familiar with anorexia in any technical way, but I'm healthy right now and have great support, so that's good. However, I struggle with what kind of diet is appropriate spiritually speaking. My healthcare worker suggests I don't eliminate any foods to prevent relapses. How should I approach diet in a compassionate, wholesome way given my condition? Well, it's an important topic, not for the reasons that most people think, which is to say health. There's plenty of literature and nutritional support in Western culture these days for a healthy diet. Lots of alternative diets to choose from. And in fact, the risk is that we make diet a religion. Yogananda had a quaint phrase. He said, just adopt proper eatarianism. Any diet that's suitable to your temperament and to your health is probably a good one. Obviously, with today's knowledge that wasn't present in his day from a medical and scientific standpoint, but any healthy diet is probably going to be just fine from a spiritual perspective. Now, having said that, those of us on the yoga path know that vegetarianism has been the tradition for thousands of years. Not just for the practice of ahimsa and non-killing. I mean, that's certainly a valid perspective. A deeper perspective on the non-killing is the vibration of the meat of animals who were slaughtered in a violent way. But Yogananda, when he came to America in the 20s, he came to a meat-eating, meat and potatoes culture of America in those days, and some of his closest students and disciples had issues with trying to become vegetarian. So what he said is, if at all possible, avoid beef and pork, but fish and chicken and even lamb would be better than beef and pork. I'm not going to get into the details of that, but I think for most of us that's makes common sense in a way. And really, from the standpoint of consciousness, the yogic diet is really all about what the yogis and the teachings of India call the levels of vibration, the gunas. And sattva represents a refined vibration that we associate with virtue, with cleanliness. And when applied to diet, it means fresh foods, fresh vegetables and fruits, lightly cooked whenever possible, not overcooked in the case particularly of vegetables. Fried foods are, they fry the hell out of the the vibration of those fresh things. And refined and processed foods, sugar and wheat, Kilpatrick bread, which was an old-fashioned brand in my day growing up. I think Yogananda's joke was Kilpatrick bread killed more than Patrick. But anyway, refined and processed foods, nutritionists tell us that. You don't need a guru, an avatar to point that out anymore. So, the basic rules are pretty obvious. But the yogic diet, the vegetarian diet, whether it's gluten-free or vegan, that's really up to you and your body. But yes, that's very, very helpful. I think of the more insidious things, which would be something like alcohol, which I don't really want to get into. If it's not obvious to you why alcohol isn't the greatest thing from a spiritual perspective, then I just do what you need to do. But these things are, here's the good news. When you practice meditation and yoga and you practice virtue generally, you find a refinement of consciousness that you just don't, you're not attracted to things like alcohol. You're not attracted to heavy foods. And I didn't mention carbohydrates, but too many carbohydrates, especially the processed ones, sort of are heavy on the heart. They require more oxygen in the heart to work harder. And so it's harder to meditate and approach a quieting of the heart, and which allows the quieting of the mind, and in a more rarefied level of consciousness. You see, that's a big part of why a refined diet. What about fasting? We've all but lost the habit of fasting, in at least the original religious sense of that. But judicious fasting, 1 day a week with just light, maybe fluids, orange juice and a little bit of ground nuts to stabilize the blood sugar. Yogananda said 1 day a week light fasting, 3 days a month light fasting, using some kind of a natural laxative so that the toxins don't get released too quickly during the period of fasting. There's much to be said about that. So don't make a religion out of your diet. Too many people do that. Just adopt a simple, nutritious, healthy diet that allows you to function creatively and in a balanced way. And occasional fasting, for those who can tolerate that, you'll find it'll help your meditations. Okay, great souls. Joy.